Hi, everyone. My name is Erin, and welcome back to Gym Girl Advice. Today, I really wanted to do an informal sit down, just kind of a conversation. I'm not going to edit this, maybe hardly at all, and just talk about some of the big nutrition changes I've made this year, most of which have had like a profound impact on my life. This was actually one of the biggest reasons I even wanted to start my channel was because I made some changes in the spring, and throughout this year I've seen big improvements in my energy, in my sleep, in my cortisol levels, in my skin. Um, I actually feel like I look younger than I did even 3 years ago, which is so awesome. And I do attribute a lot of that to my nutrition and the changes that I've made. Um, and I am someone that has struggled before with um, acne, with like hormonal imbalances, with things that just make me not feel very good. And these changes really did help. So I want to share them all today with you. And yeah, so let's just get started. Before I talk about the changes that I made, I want to talk about where I'm coming from. So I was a cross country and track and field athlete, um, both in high school and in college. And I also grew up in a pretty healthy household. I feel like my parents prioritized healthy meals, healthy eating, um, all that good stuff. But then it was when I was in college, and just kind of like learning how to cook for myself and also balancing these really big training sessions with nutrition that I think my body really got out of whack. It's hard when your body is burning that many calories and then you go to refuel for those calories, and that usually means like a huge meal or like a few days of just eating anything and everything. And um even after college with marathon training, which was just for fun, I wasn't like a competitive athlete anymore, but I was still facing some of these things that come from like one, eating constantly, because you do have to refuel your body, but then also these like sort of big binge fasts almost like, and I say that I have never struggled with disordered eating or anything like that. So when I say that, I truly just mean in the purely like literal sense, practical sense. Um, and of course, if this conversation will is going to trigger you, or if you're going through some, um, if you've had experience with disordered eating or you're going through it right now, I urge you either to click off this video or maybe just look at it from the lens that I personally have never. I've been fortunate never to have struggled with that. So I do want to also give a disclaimer before sharing the rest of the story. But basically, throughout all of my training, it was like these super intense, like eat hardly anything before a long run because you want to feel good and you want to be able to do the workout. And then that night, like going and getting like two burgers, milkshake, like just the most extreme, like opposite end. Like now we're going to refuel with everything. Or even if it's like a salad, it would have like three times the protein, twice the cheese, like everything, um, just to get those calories back in, which is a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That is a good thing. Um, but I don't eat that way anymore. And I think that that has really improved a lot of things in my life. Um, so basically, in college and everything, I learned how to cook for myself and I was cooking healthy meals. I got out of college and I really enjoyed cooking, but I was also just using like a lot of salt. I was eating a lot of pasta. For a little while there, I was even like kind of semi collecting fine red wines. It was a weird phase, but I would like have a pasta night and then drink wine multiple times a week. And I really do think that that impacted my skin, my energy for work and life. I got like way more fine lines up here. My skin looked dry and dehydrated. I didn't feel very good. And my acne at this time, and granted, this was out of college, like, I was an adult, and it just went out of control, and so something was just really off. I was also still marathon training, so again, I was having those big, like, roller coaster eat a lot or have, like, a cheat day, an off day, where I just eat whatever, anything and everything, and I do think that this really impacted the way I felt and the way I looked. Um, so now I wanna talk about the changes that I've made this year and what inspired those changes. So, actually, the biggest thing that inspired this change, um, was I stopped running for a little bit, and I actually wanna do a video on why I stopped running. Again, going from, like, super highly competitive athlete, and then marathons to kind of almost quitting running, but that's a whole other video in itself. But I do think that that changed the way I ate because suddenly I wasn't running as much a year ago, um, and I wasn't running as much, so I wasn't cooking the same way. I wasn't eating constantly. I wasn't having those big, like, eat a big dinner and then, right before bed, have another big bowl of cereal. Like, my meals became much more regular, and I do think that that helped in general with my cravings and my appetite and everything like that. Also, at this time, almost a year ago, I discovered Dr. Sarah Gottfried, who's known for her work with athletes, actually a lot of NBA players, but she's also known for her work with like hormone health and women's hormone health. So I got really turned on to her. I think it was through an Andrew Huberman podcast. And I know he's kind of a controversial figure right now, but that's just the fact. That's what turned me on to her teachings and what she does. And I just went on a deep dive about like eating for women's hormone health. Also being in late 20s, I think that that's important. Women's hormones change. Women's hormones are very different from men's hormones, and our hormones have such a big impact on the rest of our life, like how we look, how we feel, our energy, even our brain chemistry. It's actually really amazing. So if that interests you, I encourage you to go look into it because it's really fascinating. And anyway, so I got turned on to eating for hormone health. With this, my goal became eating all of my fruits and vegetables because she was like, especially women cannot get enough vegetables or fruit. Like it just fuels your cells. It makes you look better. It makes you feel better. And again, I was eating healthy and I wasn't eating fast food all the time, but I also wasn't like having a salad every single day or, if I made an omelet in the morning, mixing in like peppers or tomatoes or something, like I just wasn't eating the amount of fruits and vegetables that is recommended, which it's really crazy when you think about it, like what is recommended because nobody I know, 0 people I know until I did this challenge, eat 5 servings of vegetables and 4 servings of fruit a day. It's like actually very hard. Um, so I made that priority number 1, and this almost immediately changed my skin for the better, like just a better glow. Um, a lot of my skin cleared up, but also, like, I feel like my eyes got brighter, and again, maybe I'm, like, crazy, but it was so dramatic, and then when I went home for the holidays, my family was like, "Whoa, like, your your skin looks so good, like, your face looks full, like, you got more, like, water in you, basically. Um, you just you look really healthy, you look really good." And also at the same time, I decided to amp up my protein intake. So again, I stopped running as much, but I still like to work out and I like to do things. So I hit the gym and started lifting more to support good lifting and gains and everything you want to do. Like I just wanted some more muscle tone in my lower body. Um, and I just also wanted to try a new activity. So I started lifting, and with this, I learned that like you need to eat so much protein. So I basically went gram per pound, which is high. So 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight for the whole day. And um, that paired with all my fruits and vegetables and just eating carbs in the morning and kind of going like keto after 3, like I can't even explain how quickly my body and my overall energy and my vibe changed. It was actually pretty amazing. Um, I felt so good. I felt so energized. I felt awake. The brain fog completely went away. Um, I also gave up drinking beer and wine. And basically, if I went out to have drinks with friends, stuck to either vodka soda or tequila soda. And just even cutting out that amount of sugar and those calories. Um, Also not really drinking on the weekdays. Um, and again, I'm not trying to encourage like weekend binge fest after weekend binge fest. That's not the goal, but um, just making that simple switch from drinking wine and beer over to clear alcohol and something hydrating like a club soda or something helped so much. Like, um, but again, I wasn't like a big drinker before doing this. So really the biggest difference I found was the fruits and vegetables and the protein. Um, so stuck to carbs mostly in the morning. I just briefly touched on that, but that's the one thing I might change going forward because I hear that carbohydrates are really good before you sleep. So I may actually start the morning more keto and then add more carbs into the afternoon, which will be good because then my work will be mostly done. And again, I feel like the protein, fruits, and vegetables make me the most awake ever. Also, I understand that fruit is carbs. So that's that. I would usually have that like in the morning or a fruit bowl in the afternoon. And then dinner was pretty much just vegetables and meat. Um, I really like want to get back on this, which is also the reason I'm making this video. I was pretty good through the summer and into the fall, but I also just feel like summer is patio time, it's chips and salsa time, margarita time. And so in July and August, I kind of went off track, not bad, and like nothing major happened to my physique or my skin or my energy levels. It was just, I could tell there was a little bit of a difference. And then now heading into fall and cozy season and all the things, it is like, okay, I I know I felt so good at the holidays last year because I ate this way and I prioritize these things. Um, Also eating a lot of fat, like not being afraid of fat and protein. But also like if I made a fruit bowl, I would do a big handful of almonds or cashews on top. Um, if I had a salad, it usually had avocado and also like cheese. Like I would not be afraid to chop up even 2 cheese sticks and put it in the salad with like hard boiled eggs, some chicken, some bacon, like not really not being afraid of fat. And it's not really being afraid of anything. It was just being strategic about the carbs I consume and when I consume things and how much I consume things. And let me tell you, after eating all your fruits and vegetables and then 1 gram of protein per your own body weight, you will have hardly any room for anything else. Like I got to dinner and it was like, okay, I just have to get 20 more grams of protein in and some in a salad. And sometimes it was actually hard to get it in, but I never once wanted something 2 hours later. I never once felt like I was depriving myself. If anything, it got to the end of the day and I was like, wow, I feel really good and also not that hungry, which was pretty nice before bed because that's the last thing I want to touch on is that I did more like intermittent fasting style eating. I say that very lightly. I say that very lightly. And I almost didn't even want to bring it up in this video because it's not like a true intermittent fast. It's not that like 12 hours or 14 hours, whatever some of you may have done. it was just a cutoff time. So I had to be done eating by 7 p.m. And if I went to bed at 10 p.m., so 3 hours later with just water, maybe a tea or something like that, I slept so good. My sleep improved. I was sleeping through the night. Um, Also, just because my diet was better and I was eating a lot, again, like those fruits and vegetables, protein, everything, and I felt better, my cortisol really did, I feel like, go down. And that was something that in Dr. Sarah Godfrey's stuff, she said, this helps not only hormone health, but it helps with cortisol, um, which is associated with all of that stuff. But it really did help me um, just feel so good, sleep well. And again, I feel like a lot of my issues that I had struggled with before, whether that be skin, whether that be mood, um, even muscle and weight distribution on my body, suddenly everything was going like where it should. Like if I was lifting legs and eating really well, like I was seeing results there. Um, I just felt like I looked better than I ever had, which is saying something because going from a highly competitive athlete at like a top running school, um, in NCAA, like going from that to working out 1/8 as much, um, and way less intense for way less time, like just truly, like my peak should have been theoretically college, or high school when I was like running the most and at my highest level of athleticism. I completely disagree. I actually feel like I'm healthier and I look better now than I did then. And again, a lot of this comes from nutrition. I think I saw the other day something like how you look is it's like 80% diet and 20% exercise. It was something like that. I actually agree 1,000%. Um, I've gone, I've had weeks at work where work is just too intense. Maybe I can't get to the gym as much. And maybe I barely work out at all, which is not something I like. Clearly, my channel is Gym Girl Advice. But my advice is in those times, it's so crucial to prioritize nutrition. And then it won't feel like you're in a slump. It won't feel like you have to climb your way back up to like where you were before. I feel like now I'm just very even. And it's like the weeks that I get to the gym a lot are really good weeks. And the weeks that I don't, but I don't eat a lot of junk food, I prioritize, again, fruits and vegetables, protein, healthy fats, and then eating at certain times of the day. Nothing changes with my body. Like I can go a few weeks in a busy month and still feel confident in myself, feel good about myself. Um, and I'm also feeding my body the fuel that it needs so that when I do pick things up again, I I am not starting from zero. Like it's a good maintenance practice is to have really, really good nutrition. So I hope this helps. I know this was kind of just a random informal video, but I woke up with it just on my mind. And again, I'm like getting back into like kind of going hardcore about it again here, heading into the holidays and heading into 2025. So I hope this helps you. If you have any of your own advice or things that have worked for you, drop it in the comments. I would love to see it. Yeah. Also, I have some coaching spots open. So if you are interested in working with me for confidence coaching, for leveling up, glow up coaching, all of the above, hit the link in my bio and I would love to work with you. But otherwise, I hope everyone has a good day and see you later. Bye.